He broke the lock and came downstairs, slapped me. I got up from the table I was sitting at because I didn't know what was going to happen. He slapped me and said, "Keep playing games," and walked out the sliding door.
We'll give you an opportunity to turn yourself in since you've cooperated. I was going to pick my son up to go fishing, right? And I've had 13 cops surround me.
In response to that, polygraph examination reports haven't been admissible since Fry in 1923, 100 years ago.
So
Brother
what?
Counsel might as well have submitted a report from a psychic. I mean,
No, that's not true, Kyle.
My client will swear under penalty of perjury that Mr. Brogan, in fact, smacked her or hit her face. She can offer commentary about that. And I should point out that on May 27th, Mr. Brogan called my client's mom. Expletives were full in the conversation that my client's mother recorded. And during that call, Mr. Brogan threatened to send people to my client's residence to cause injury to someone there. And I have that recording. I'm happy to play that for your honor now. But ultimately, based upon the conflict, the hostility, Mr. Brogan should have zero contact with my client unless it's done through app closed or our family wizard, where it's heavily regulated and that he isn't in the vicinity of my client. With regards to the parenting time schedule, my client maintains that Mr. Brogan has a cocaine problem. I believe I sent the video to your honor, as well as to Brother Counsel, of Mr. Brogan staggering around the room while he was intoxicated on cocaine. There is a picture of cocaine in a baggie that my client found. And ultimately, when it comes to a substance abuse problem, it is very concerning. And we respectfully request that Mr. Brogan be required to take a comprehensive substance abuse analysis, a test, to ascertain whether he has any cocaine in his system, and that overnight parenting time should not be permitted until he passes a negative test by a reputable third-party, tester. In the interim, we would request that parenting time for Mr. Brogan be done at Phoenix House, that we schedule a parenting time review hearing maybe in a month, just to figure out what's going on with the substance abuse test. Also, too, I was going to ask that the FOC, that this be referred to the investigator of the FOC for facilitation, as well as an investigation regarding parenting time.
Just a brief response, if I could. The injunction about not secreting assets, I don't have a problem with that. I'm talking about the status quo order, him not living there. And if the court were to say that he would have to stay out of the home, that would be tantamount to, as I indicated
So guys, let me ask you, what are the party's sources of income?
He works at
What are the sources of?
But Judge,
Okay.
hold on one second. I just wanted to say that
the court order status quo when people are removed from the house all the time. Happens all the time. I mean, just because you get removed from the house on DV charges doesn't get you out of a status quo order. Guys, there's status quarters all the time.
So the court's saying that he should be able to pay for both two residents? He doesn't have that.
Well, where is he? What's he paying for right now? I haven't heard that he's paying for another resident.
He's living on the fly right now. He has
no family. So, Mr. Brogy, you have no friends or family that you can live with? None at all?
Both of my parents are dead. My father just passed with my brother last year, and my mom's been dead since 2015. And I don't want to burden, I'm the oldest out of all the children. So my brother, he just had a newborn and he's married with his wife. And then my sister that's right underneath me has already taken in my younger sister because she's getting her house finished. So she's already took on another sibling.
Your Honor, I just want to indicate to you that he brought up a number of things. I think this is, he said that she wants to buy the house. Well, so does he. I believe that I already told you about the injunction.
Guys, Counsel, with all due respect, right now, I can't undo a no contact order out of a district court. So remind me of the district court who has this no contact order in place.
41A, Shelby.
Okay. So, Ms. Brogan, tell me what led to these charges. Tell me about domestic violence within your home. What are you alleging?
We had agreed to live on 2 separate floors because our environment's been so hostile for a long time. So I was living in the basement because there's a walkout basement, so I can leave and come through that door without having to see Rich. And there was a lock on the door going to the basement, which was agreed upon both of us. He came to the door and told me to remove the effing lock or he's gonna break it. Within minutes, he broke the lock and came downstairs, slapped me. I got up from the table I was sitting at because I didn't know what was gonna happen. He slapped me and said, "Keep playing games," and walked out the sliding door. I called the police. There was a pool company behind, our pool was due to be open. They were there. He asked them to move their car immediately and get off his property, and he had left.
So was this alleged slapping incident an isolated incident, or are you alleging he's been physical with you in the past?
He's been physical with me in the past,
So when's the last time prior to this alleged slapping incident?
2 years ago. It
Okay.
happened when I've called the police. I never made it to
Okay.
the trials because I've always been threatened.
Okay. Is it always been in the form of slapping, or is it any other physicality?
No, it's been more than slapping.
And so
He
tell me
had
what
stopped.
else. Tell me what else.
He had grabbed my neck and threatened to kill me. That's about as far as it's gone.
When was the grabbing by the neck incident alleged to have happened?
I think it was in 2019. 2019.
Okay. And guys, and I'm not trying to minimize any form of physicality. I'm just trying to be clear as to what the allegations are and what's being alleged. So guys, I'm not trying to minimize or anything here that's being said when I asked to be specific as the forms of alleged violence.
When I was
Okay,
pregnant
go
with my
ahead.
daughter in 2000, when I was pregnant with my daughter in 2011, December of 2011, we were in Mexico. He punched me in the stomach. I came to circuit court. They took pictures. I was bruised on my face,
Okay.
on my body. He ran from the police
Okay.
in
Okay,
Mexico.
well, let's, and I understand, but that was 11 years ago.
Yes,
Are
it's
we
happened
talking?
frequently.
Okay.
Yeah, Judge.
So let me ask this. So let me ask this. So Mr. Brogue, it sounds like he's a verbal guy. Does he tend to say big stuff and that's how he's always been throughout your relationship? I mean, and when I say that, guys, let me be honest. Some people use profanity in their house all the time. I may not, other people do. Some people say big things but never act on them. And everyone kind of gets used to the dialogue and the nature and the volume of which people talk. Is Mr. Brogan a big talker, so to say, and you're kind of used to it, or no? These things that he's saying. Does that make sense?
Yes. I wouldn't say he's more verbal than physical. It's been both.
Judge.
Yeah. So the point I'm making is over the 11 years, is he like someone like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do this, that, or the other
Yes.
thing, but that's just how he talks for 11 years and has never acted on it. He just talks big. And I'm not minimizing. I'm just saying people talk in different ways. And sometimes they say things and they mean them. And other times they're loud and they may be profane, but people become accustomed to it because it's gone on forever and ever and ever. And therefore that kind of is the way. I'm not saying it's okay, but what I'm saying is there's a difference between being fearful someone's going to act on something and them having said it for 11 years. Are you fearful that he'll act on any of these threats he's made to your mom or to you?
Yes.
And why are you afraid of that?
Because he's acted on many, many people. On
What does that
myself,
mean? Is that
on
okay?
myself, on our builder. He beat up our builder in our garage, assault and battery. That's the type of environment he is in. He knows.
So you've heard Mr. Brogan say that he has nowhere to go. Do you believe he has nowhere to go and live
He
with
has
anybody?
6 homes, Your Honor. He has 6 homes.
What does that
of
mean
them-
when you say?
He has.
What do you mean when you
5
say
homes.
6 of them?
He has 5 homes
But
in
are-
Detroit that are all paid off. And he has.
But are they being rented to people, or I mean,
No.
are they rentals that people are living in?
No.
So, Mr. Brogan, well, why? What are they doing then? Are they just sitting there, or what are they doing?
No,
He just-
Oh, I'm
Okay,
sorry. I thought
Mr.
you said
Brogan, do you
Mr.
want to
Brogan.
respond? Go ahead, Mr. Brogan. Do you want to
I'm
respond to
sorry. I
that?
thought you said Mr. Brogan. That's the only reason I spoke up, sir. You
No,
can-
I did. I did. You want to respond to the allegation you have 5 houses that you can move into?
Sir, she's not telling the truth about anything. I only have 2 houses and they're on 6 Mile and Woodward. I sold the other 3 in a package and
Mhm.
probably 3 months ago. The house that I have on Armada, the guy's been renting it for me for the past 8 years. And I did say something to him about 3 weeks ago that there might be a possibility that he might have to find a new place to stay, but he has 2 young daughters. So I didn't send him an eviction notice or anything like that, but I let him know that there could be a possible divorce going on, because this is the 3rd time she served me with divorce papers. Now, I'm going to tell you, the only times I put my hand on my wife is 11 years ago when we were in Mexico. And I'll own up to that. You're on the record. I did smack her over there in Mexico, and I haven't put my hands on her since. That's why I paid for a polygraph test for this last incident, because this whole thing's been a witch hunt. I mean, I don't know how it goes from I turned myself in. The one cop says there's no way he put his hands. Look how big he is. They told me in 48 hours, we'll give you an opportunity to turn yourself in since you've cooperated. And it went from, I was going to pick my son up to go fishing, right? And I've had 13 cops surround me, commenting everybody. And I'm going, what's going on here?
So let's talk about that. So, ma'am, how did it become a drug investigation, a drug raid?
I have no idea. They told me that I asked when I went home, they were all there, and I asked how it started, why they're here. And they said that his place of employment has been investigating him, Sterling Heights, and that they've been investigating him for years. And that's all I know from that matter.
They were using a DV charge to do an end run and try to get into the house, and it didn't discover anything. Well,
that's not the case that he's telling you.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Well, if they're saying they've been investigating his place of employment and they use a DV charge, that's not a way to investigate your home. I mean, it's a way to get in there, but it's.
He's been employed at Ford for 29 years. There's nobody investigating anything about him.
Well, guys, people work and do things all over the place. So I'm not going to comment on that. But if she's saying the cops are saying they're looking at somebody, then they may or may not be. I don't know if that's true or not. But just because people are employed doesn't mean they don't commit other crimes, to be quite frank.
True. So this was what I was told. The police officer told me that she's been making statements to because she's called the police something like 15 times in the past 3 years for domestic violence. And I've been charged with no domestic violence. This is the first one that's stuck. So they're tired of her calling, and they said, listen, she keeps bringing up drugs, Mr. Brogan. Do you care if we search the residence? I said, no, I'm not letting you search residence because I don't know what she might have in the residence. So from my
understanding, how did they get a warrant to bust down the door and get in there?
Because she's cooperating with them, and it's an affidavit that we're waiting on right now.
Okay, stop. Because I don't need any more. So, ma'am, do you have any sources of ma'am? Do you have any sources of income?
I do.
So what's your source of income?
I get a pension from Ford Motor Company, and I get medical retirement, Social Security.
And rent.
Okay. And what kind of income do you pull in a month?
$4,000.
Okay. And how do you guys, a status quo bill order, which your attorneys have probably talked about, is that you keep paying the bills as you had throughout your relationship while you're together. How did you guys pay the bills? Who paid them and how did you pay them? Did you have enough money to pay them?
Yeah, so our mortgage was $2,000 and I paid $1,500 because we refinanced and he wanted to pay the $500 more a month. So I paid $1,500 a month. He paid the $500 towards the mortgage and he paid the utilities.
Okay, and who bought the food for the family and things like that?
I did. I paid for my own car, for my own phone, for the food for the children, for myself.
So you're saying that Mr. Brogan's status quo payments are $500 towards mortgage, his own food, and what, car payment or?
No, he doesn't have a car payment. I paid my own car payment. So just for his was just the utilities and the $500 toward the mortgage.
I do have a car payment, sir.
Okay, but sir, how much do you bring in a month? She's saying she's paying a majority of the expenses associated with the house.
No, that's not true. What had happened was for our house note to be that low with taxes and insurance, I invested over $400,000 of my savings to get that down to the
Okay,
payment
but
that it
then,
is, because we
but
live in
it
a nice
doesn't matter.
house.
Stop, guys, stop. It doesn't matter how you brought the payment down. I'm talking
I'm
about
just
your
saying how the
monthly payments.
payment got so
So,
low. Right.
I gotcha, but the question is, what is your net a month before you pay bills or this 500 towards mortgage or whatever?
No, I bring home 900 hours a week from Fort, so 3,600 a month.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop lying.
We did a
Okay.
refinance, and she said she couldn't afford the 2,000 a month, so I picked up the extra 500 because we wanted to cut 10 years off the mortgage.
Yeah,
So
but guys, stop. You're
Okay.
So what's happening is that's another argument regarding property division. I'm just talking about status quo payments, and the argument's been made that you can't afford status quo payments, but the bills associated with the house are primarily the mortgage is being paid by her. So out of 3,600, you're paying 500 towards the house.
yeah, I pay
And
probably
then what are you paying
1,100
for your
a
car?
month, probably. For the car, I'm
For-
paying myself back through my 401k because I took a loan against my 401k to.
So
to buy the
you're
truck.
paid 500. Where do you get the 1,100 from?
The 1,100 is the rest of the bills, like your electric, your water.
Okay, so out of $3,600, you're paying 1,100 and you're paying 1,600.
Yeah, and
So
then
you have
plus my car.
2,000. So you have 2,000 left, and she's paying a majority of the mortgage and in her own car payment and for the food for her and the kids.
Yeah, because she won't let me have dinner with the kids. So she makes me stay upstairs. Like we can't have
Okay,
dinner.
but the point I'm making is you got $2,000 disposable income there, right? What are you getting for rent? What are you pulling in rent?
The rent just takes care of the mortgage that's on the house.
The mortgage and okay.
Yeah.
She has 4,000 coming in for rent, we believe, from the place that she's got a property with her mother. They're renting.
So, ma'am, do you have income coming in above and beyond your $4,000 a month?
I do not.
Okay. So let's talk about parenting time, guys. And I gotta move because I got like 6 motions this afternoon. So, ma'am, have you thought? So you guys have a no contact order. I can't undo an order of the 41A District Court in Shelby, which means you guys can't, have no contact even for parenting time?
No,
It's a total bar.
No, he said that he would defer to the circuit court, whatever they end up doing. But he said, when it comes to, this is what Judge Verplog said, when it comes to extracurricular activities, he goes, I understand you have he plays hockey. If you're on one side of the arena and she's on the other, that's fine with me. Just do not approach her. That was the only
So
thing
what have
he
you guys,
said.
so guys, what are your proposals for parenting time? So he wants a nesting agreement equal time. Any in counsel plaintiff's position as to parenting? Oh, you said Phoenix House.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what I heard?
this is just not, he's been involved with these children
So-
just as much as she
Okay,
is.
so ma'am, is he close with the kids? Are the kids close with their dad? Ricky and
No,
Mila?
he has never been to any school functions. He has never been to a doctor's appointment. He has never done anything with the kids other than he does attend my son's hockey games often.
okay, but at home, does he have a good relationship with the kids? He talks to them. You guys sit down and eat together. I mean, what's
No, we have
his
not eaten
relationship
together.
with the kids?
We have not eaten together in 10 years.
I mean, well, let me
Sometimes-
ask, are the kids scared of their dad? Are they mad at their dad? Are they cool to see their dad? What is their relationship?
My daughter is very scared of him. My son is not.
Why do they know about what happened? Were they there when the police raided the house?
They were there for some of the abuse. They were there when the police raided the house. My son was.
She's the one that called the cops on the house with the kids there. If you can imagine that. She's the one that got the police to raid the house.
Well, guys, to play devil's advocate, if she's being abused, please come to a house
Well,
and there
that's
may be
because
kids there. to
she's
stop
saying it doesn't mean it's true. My guy passed.
I'm just saying, guys, it's not an outrage. I'm just saying until the facts are vetted out through the district court and those charges and through
Did
other
any-
avenues,
Okay, but Judge,
there's a non-contact order. So I got to deal with a no contact order and
I
what
mean,
to do with that.
just about 3-4 weeks ago, there was a tournament, the Notre Dame tournament. She ended up having to have other hockey members' families drive the kids home because she was inebriated and whatever else she was doing. I don't understand where she can make a statement and then we're just like, we're guilty of it. I had him go to a professional polygraph. Chris Lampfer is no slouch. We offered to pay for hers and they won't do it. She just said that she was going to address the fact that, you know, she was hit, but we've gone through this. And if you know anything about Chris Lampfer or his brother Hal, they're former FBI guys. The whole I sent the report to Kyle. He has some equity on his side that this did not happen. This did not happen.
In response to that, polygraph examination reports haven't been admissible since Fry in 1923, 100 years ago.
So
Further
what?
counsel might as well have submitted a report from a psychic. I mean,
No, that's not true, Kyle. Well, let her take it. Let her take it.
I'll pay for it.
So guys, listen. I'm gonna make, so guys, this is a motion hearing. This is not the beginning and end all of your case. You have a right to go all the way to trial. And some of this stuff is gonna vet itself out with the district court. If the charges don't hold up, if the judge overturns the PPO, the no contact order is turned over. But guys, I gotta work with what I have right now and default on the side of safety, and that police and prosecutors have levied charges. It's not irrelevant. Everybody knows that. So guys, I'm a referee, not a judge. If you haven't dealt with the family court before, you always have 21 days to object to my decision. At an objection hearing, the Honorable Terry Lynn Dennings may uphold my order or change it, and her decision as the judge is the final say. So guys, I'm going to make a recommendation as to all these issues right now. All right. And so let me ask this, when it comes to custody and parenting time, I can't require facilitation if there's allegations about DV unless the person alleges them wishes to participate. Any thoughts, Mr. Bristow or Ms. Brogan, on whether you want facilitation as part of your custody investigation?
If we could skip just to the investigation, that would be great, as opposed to just facilitation first. But my client will, of course, participate with facilitation or mediation if it's ordered. You know, they would put us in a separate Zoom conference room, and we could do that too.
Yeah, so I can't order it unless plaintiff says she wishes to do it. I can't. DV protocol says I can't force you to do it, so I'm not going to order it unless you guys say you want to.
I would say
Is a question.
At this point in time, it'd probably be best just to go straight to the investigation.
Okay. All right, so the following is my recommendation, the interim order of the court. Both parties have 21 days to object. Your right to object is your right. You don't get in trouble for objecting. I don't get mad. The judge doesn't get mad. And again, her decision will be the final say, whether she upholds my order or changes all or part of it. All right, so 1, defendant's request to modify the status quo and temporary restraining order regarding marital property is denied. The status quo order should remain in full force and effect. On a temporary basis, the parties shall share joint legal custody of their 2 minor children, ages 11 and 9, with physical custody being awarded to plaintiff mother. 3, on a temporary basis, the defendant should be awarded parenting time on alternate weekends on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, the only issues, guys, is what are we going to do with parenting time exchanges? Do either one of you have somebody or a location you want to meet to exchange the children, since plaintiff and defendant cannot be near each other? Does anyone have any proposals for that?
Police department.
I would propose a police department as well.
There's a tournament.
Where's
There's a tournament next week or this weekend coming up in
And
Chicago.
I'm taking my kid, yeah.
Yeah, and he's taking the boy to the tournament. Is that correct, Kyle?
I'd have to ask my client. I don't know about that.
Ma'am, are you in agreement that he takes your son to the hockey tournament so we can put it in this order and be clear that no one's going to get in trouble?
Yes.
It's Thursday,
right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Your Honor.
Okay, parties agree that for the weekend of starting Thursday, June 22nd through the 25th, defendant father will be taking the party's son to a hockey tournament. Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
How are you guys going to effectuate your parenting time exchange?
I had to go to the police department to protect myself because I can't have any more
What
accusations.
police department do you guys want to use?
Shelby Township.
All right, parenting time exchanges shall be effectuated at the Shelby Township Police Department. Parties and those transporting the children should remain in their vehicles, and the children should walk between the cars.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
You
Go
said
ahead.
10 to 6, what was it 10 to 6 o'clock?
10 a.m. to
Saturday?
6 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays.
If he
Alternate.
finds himself a residence, he can have overnights, or we have to come back to you?
I'm going to leave it like that. You guys can talk into a consent order. Right now, I'm going to leave it at the 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
What about my
You guys
son's
can talk.
practices?
So guys,
Can I go to those?
are we in agreement that he can attend extracurricular activities and the parties will not go near each other?
Yes,
Ma'am, you're okay with that? All right. Per the parties' agreement, defendant
And my
may,
daughter has
be-
basketball
may,
too, sir.
may attend the children's extracurriculars. Parties agree that attendance at extracurriculars shall not be a violation of the PPO or no contact order. Parties shall not stand or approach each other during extracurricular activities and shall not have any conversations or contact. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So guys, that doesn't mean you roll up on each other and make the other person move. When you see the other person, you go to the
Go the opposite way,
end
yep,
of the, other end of the place.
And there's video cameras in all these establishments too.
Okay, all right. Which number are we on now? 7, the matters of custody and parenting time should be referred to the front of the court for investigation and recommendation.
As to the sale of
The
the home?
The fee, I'm gonna get there, fee should be split equally. Guys, I'm not gonna do a preemptive property division. These parties are not financially strapped. They have sufficient income to pay their status quo. It's not something where the house is going into foreclosure. So guys, I am not gonna order a sale of a
Okay.
home
Okay, but right,
pre-judgment. It's not gonna
okay,
be.
but right now, the stepdaughter and her boyfriend are living there, and the problem is that they're gonna establish what's called in Michigan is squatters' rights.
Guys, I am not forcing the sale of marital home. Take it up with the judge. It's not gonna happen pre-judgment.
Well, can they
These
leave?
people,
All right, thank you.
guys, I'm not gonna order it. The request to sell the marital home is denied.
All right.
So I have one more
Guys.
question.
Go ahead.
I have my paychecks from a Unicare going to the house. So I got like $3,000 in checks missing because I can't collect them. So I have
Ma'am,
no
do you
way.
have his Unicare checks?
I do.
Well,
Okay, how do you guys want those delivered to Mr. Brogan?
I would propose that my client mail them directly to Mr. Provenzano.
Okay,
Okay. Plaintiff shall mail all of the defendants' Unicare checks to Mr. Provenzano. Sir, can you, yeah, okay. You're gonna have to continue to do that until such time as he has an established residence. And so, sir, just so you know, you can have a residential address with the front of the court and a mailing address. If you want to
Okay.
get a PO box or establish a friend who will get your mail, you don't have, I can't force you to do that, but you
Yeah.
may want to do that so you can change, so you can make sure your stuff. So I would suggest you establish some kind of mailing address with the front of the court. But if you don't have that right now, that I get it, that's okay.
But that was my reason of going to get the mail, and they're saying I was violated. But you see, she's had the checks the whole time.
Yeah, you
Hasn't
guys,
shared it with-
I'm gonna be honest, direct questions regarding whether, I mean, if you have a no contact order, you guys got a no contact order. Beware of violating it, and I'd direct you to talk to your attorneys regarding
Okay.
what you should, or before you do something, if you're not sure, ask counsel.
Thank
Right?
you,
problem.
Judge.
Ask for counsel.
Thank you.
All right. So
Mr.
guys,
Your
and
Honor,
guys, the only last thing I was gonna do is, I'm gonna do this. And guys, and so just, I'm gonna indicate that Mr. Brogan shall submit to a substance abuse analysis with Dr. Ron Fenton. And I'm gonna have Ms. Brogan can pay for it since she's alleging it,
sure.
okay? With
Well, what
plaintiff
about
being
her-
responsible
what
for
about
the
her drug
cost.
and alcohol abuse?
Well, what I
Okay,
haven't
all right.
heard, counsel, I haven't heard any allegations. I heard allegations of cocaine use with pictures of a white baggie and him slumped over in a video, but what are the allegations against her?
my
Same
client
thing.
would be willing to take a
uh,
test if Mr. Brogan pays for it. They can each
The
pay for their own attest.
The Notre Dame.
Okay, so great.
hockey
So,
tournament.
so guys, I'll change it. Both parties shall submit to substance abuse evaluations with Dr. Ron Fenton at their own expense, with the results being exchanged between their respective counsel,
Thank
with the
you.
results being provided to both counsel. So, okay, guys, you both can have one. All
Thank
right.
you.
That was
So
at the
guys,
hockey
I'm gonna
tournament,
say,
sir.
guys, I'm gonna say this. you guys are going down a very expensive and litigious road. Only you guys can change this case and how much time, energy, and money you want to devote to it. It's at the beginning. Everything's hot. I'm going to encourage you to take a breath, talk to your attorneys. Hopefully things will calm down. If you sort some of the stuff out through the PPO or other courts, that may help you a direction, put this in a certain direction. But guys, if you guys don't work on working this out, this is going to be a very expensive venture for both of you. So I always say to this, if there's any way that with the help of your counsel, you can work some of this stuff out, do it, because you're going to see your marital estate and the money that you have going to attorney fees. They don't do this for free. So if you guys don't want to see thousands and thousands of thousands burn up because you're litigating, only you guys can change that. Okay. I'm not saying right now that's possible. Probably going to take some time, but guys, talk to your attorneys, think about some of these things, take a breath. I'm going to leave it there. So
Thank you
guys,
for
you
that.
both have 21 days to object to this decision. We're going to email you a copy of this order and the objection procedure. And you guys have 21 days to object. And again, that's your right. And an objection hearing, the judge will either uphold my order or change another part of it. And her decision as the judge is the final say. Okay. All right, guys, you're all set. Have a great day.